this is Gomes versus Mirumoto Kai in round of 32. So, good stream is going. So we're gonna have a quick look at the deck lists. We see the Crane player here with Scorpion Splash. Oh, now that's spicy. So this is a Dishonor Crane with 3 Forged Edict, 3 Backhanded Compliments, and 3 Mark of Shame. That is interesting. Nothing really strange on the Dynasty side, of course, because it's Keeper Initiates. That's really interesting. And the Dragon player is basically playing Copy of Test. Yep, pretty much. One Hawk Tattoo still. That's nice. One Kazuei. That is very interesting. And the Crane player does not have any control, like any attachment control. That's rough. That's really rough. If he finds Kazuei and puts it on a big guy, yeah, you just go, okay, let's have this guy live forever. Interesting. So let's full screen this and let's increase the size a little bit. There we go. Hopefully this doesn't break stuff. And welcome to the game, everyone. I'm quickly bringing up chat if there's anyone that wants to say anything. I'll be able to see it. Alright, so we see Mirumoto mulligan 3 cards from Dynasty, and we see 1 card from the Dynasty from Gomes, and then 1 card from both Conflict decks. See the Dragon player play Doom Shigenya, and this is the playing with the new rules, so there's no second player fate. Cool. So the Crane player has a pretty strong start, opens with Cautious Scout, and the Dragon player passes to get the passing fate. Might be a mistake, in my opinion. If the Crane player gets a couple of conflict characters now, he can do a lot, like even with the favorable ground. You go in with Cautious Scout, favorable ground out, and you go for another province. If you can find Resto this early with a Cautious Scout, that's just, oh, that's lovely. You absolutely feel confident about this game then as the Crane player. Let's just have a quick look at me. Yep, it's live, nothing strange. I imagine the Dragon player is probably going to attack first, and if the Crane player has anything to defend with from hand, I think that is going to be done. Let's see what happens. We have a 5-bid against 5-bid. The Crane player have the option to sacrifice Imperial Storehouse. I'm gonna move this so you can see the cards. Imperial Storehouse to gain more cards, and we do see a Tattooed Wanderer from the Dragon player. I feel that might be premature, possibly, because this Cautious Scout is gonna just blank whatever it walks into. Does Dragon player play any assassinations? I don't think I saw it. No assassinations. 2 assassinations from the Crane player though, which is interesting. And a Cloud of Mine on the Cautious Scout. Now that sucks, because Imperial Storehouse was used to gain an extra card. So if he actually walks into Resto now, that is just a painful experience. I'm thinking the Crane player is probably face palming a bit right now. It does not feel good to have your Cautious Scout cloud-minded when you know you're gonna have to walk into provinces. I imagine we're probably gonna see the Dragon player just passing here, because I think the Dragon player is fine just passing this out completely. So I think the Dragon player is probably gonna pass the first conflict and force Gomes to attack first, and if Gomes hits restorations, I think that is game over. Yeah. The Doji Eric. Yeah, it is classic. The Cloud Mine on the Cautious Scout. I think it's pretty aggressive here to attack with the Doomed Shugenya. That is actually pretty darn aggressive. And he finds Shameful. I guess that's pretty good to find early though. I'm just gonna have a quick peek and see if there's any noble sacrifices. 2 of them. Yeah, so finding Shameful early to know where it is actually really nice, and you don't really lose anything having a 0 glory Doom Shigenya. Yeah, honestly, like, I keep forgetting that Cloud of Mine is a card that people play like very easily when I play like Lion a lot, because I just keep forgetting that, oh yeah, this is a thing that totally shuts down your character. It's actually just a pile of stats now, and quite poor pile of stats as well, which is not something you really want. Cloud of Mine is a really good card. It, of course, if people doesn't actually know what Cloud of Mine is, it's a spell, attachment spell. You have to control a Shigenya in order to play it. So this basically blanks the text box of the Cautious Scout, who otherwise just blanks provinces if he attacks into them. Alright, so from Gomes we see a political rival played into the conflict. And he is now winning on defense, because this political rival has 6 political strength on defense. And then we see an assassination to assassinate the Tattooed Wanderer, which is honestly a bit why I think it was extremely premature to play it with 1 fate. I thought that was odd to do that the first action. Especially, I mean, if you're first player, I can see attacking with it, but then he didn't, so I don't know. It just feels a bit odd. So we see the favorable ground sacrificed to move out the Cautious Scout. I'm guessing this is going to result in a Cautious Scout attacking, and if the Crane player has as poor luck as it looks like he does, I think he's going to run into restorations and just lose the game. Because that's Dragon for you. Oh, a second Cloud of Mine goes down on the political rival. Now the Dragon player is actually winning this conflict. Can he break though? That's an interesting proposition. So he forces another card out from Gomes. I think Cloud of Mine on a political rival is a pretty fine target. There are perhaps better characters to put it on Crane, but it forced another card out of the Crane player's hand, which is both good and bad. It forced the problem card out of the hand, but it also means the Crane player has to discard less now if he were to walk into, let's say, Restorations of Balance. Oh yeah, Feast or Famine is also extremely bad to hit right now. And for people who just joined, this Crane player does not have any attachment control whatsoever in his deck. There's no attachment control for the Crane player. And, of course, he finds Feast or Famine. Hold on, guys. Would you not, if you're afraid of finding Feast or Famine, or indeed restorations here or whatever, would you not attack politically here with the Cautious Scout in order to prevent this break? Yeah. Yeah, you attack political because you still have one skill because this cautious scout is honored. You're perfectly fine with having just winning this conflict. Oh, okay, so he did go for the watering. He wants to ready the political rival to go for a break. Right. That's kind of risky since this happened. I mean, sometimes it's just... Sometimes the dragon row is just horrible. I think like going oh yeah, so this, since he has 0 fate, this was the only way he was gonna get a second attack. If he actually finds a good province with his second attack, this might be worth it. If he can break Sacred Sanctuary, or indeed find and break Resto, I think, or even Shameful. If he can find, actually, if Kai doesn't have a conflict character, if he can find Shameful here, this is probably the best possible scenario for Gomes. Huh? Why would you steal off the cautious scout? To, I guess, make sure Voice of Honor is not on next turn by default. Interesting play. Let's see if it pans out. I mean, this political rival is clouded, so it's not gonna have covert, and it's not gonna have the +3 political on defense. And we do see a Tattered Wanderer played. And I'm guessing he's going to attack Void then, and void out this political rival. I doubt he passes his conflict and just defends here. I don't think that's the right play, because if he walks into Sacred Sanctuary now, he just readies and defends the Tattered Wanderer.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Keep it sensible in the chat, please. I don't want to ban you. Alright, so we do see the Tattered Wanderer attacking to Shameful Display with a Ancestral Daisho, and breaks the Shameful Display. So the dragon is now 1-1 on breaks. And now let's see if the Crane player's gamble of readying the political rival is going to pan out. He needs to find basically Resto or Shameful, preferably Shameful.
Scare me. Oh boy.
Oh dear. Alright, so we do see the political rival walk into Restorations of Balance, forcing the Crane player to discard 3 cards from his hand down to 4. I mean, he does get the Keeper now from winning the Air Ring, which is, I guess, okay. It sets him up for a little bit better board next turn, but it's not looking too great for the Crane player here. So, what do we see discarded? Soul, and Steward of Law. Huh. That's... he must have real gas left in his hand if that's what he discarded. I think those are really good against the Dragon matchup. I'm guessing Souls is a bit expensive for what it does, because the Dragon player don't have many ways to dishonor, but... Alright, guys, I'm serious. I'm going to kick you out of my chat if you keep up. Hi, Box the Fox. Alright, so Restoration Balance is broken and the Crane player gets the Keeper Initiate in play. So, next turn, they're both equal on cards, they're both equal on honor. The Dragon player is up to Fate, and the Crane player gets the Imperial Favor. Yes, I will, John. I will. I will kick you out. Right. So when the dragon player gets the ancestral Daisha back to hand because it's an ancestral attachment, and now we go into round 2. Oh dear. Right, and the Crane player finds Kakita's army, and the Dragon player has a really good province flop as well. I can imagine we're seeing Neated Master, Raitsugo, Alchemist. Everything is good here for the Dragon player. The Dragon player is in a very good position here to just do stuff, and all of them is nasty. Yes, Gomes is on Scorp Splash. He is on a very Dishonor heavy Scorp Splash with 3 Mark of Shame, 3 Backhanded Compliment. Let me have a quick look actually. 3 Mark of Shame, 3 Forged Edict, and 3 Backhanded Compliment. John, I timed out Tim. If you're gonna be a dick about this, I'm gonna time you out as well. Alright, let's see what the bid is. So the Dragon player plays Raitsugu with 2 Fate. I'm guessing this probably means that there's a real potential for him to have Kazu in hand and just keep this Mirumoto Raitsugu alive forever and kill off everything on the Crane board. And apparently Kai is a bit concerned about what the Crane might do to him here, so he bids 4 instead of 5, and Gomeso bids 3 here to start some light Dishonor pressure going. Alright, so the Crane player has the first attack. We know Restoration of Balance is gone, and we know Feast or Famine is gone. So the 2 provinces left in the row should be Shameful Display and Sacred Sanctuary. If the Dragon player has it, he will play a Seal of the Dragon on Raitsugu here in the... yep, there it is. Seal of the Dragon goes down on Raitsugu to keep him standing if the Crane player hits Sacred Sanctuary. No. Both players are not allergic to cards. Is that the Crane player has a really Dishonor heavy deck, and the Dragon player knows this and is scared. So he wanted to be a little bit safe. I mean, like technically, the Crane player could have had in his hand like 3 backhanded complement, and if a 5-1 bid occurs, he's just dead. Right? What was it? 8? Oh, no, actually, he still survives that, but he can't. Yeah, he's actually dead if he can't honor this Doom Chigenya then. Alright. And Shameful Display triggers and honors Mirumoto Raitsugu and dishonors Kakita's army. So the... Oh, and Mark of Shame instantly gets played, so this Raitsugu is actually now in bowing range of the Stronghold. But the Court Games re-honors Raitsugu to keep him out of... No, actually, he's still in the range of getting bowed... Ooh. Let's get rid of that. He's still in the range of getting bowed by the Stronghold because of the -1 from the Mark of Shame. So I imagine the Crane players in chat is going to be screaming use box. I'm guessing the Crane player might not see it, but he should definitely use Shizuka Toshi right now and bow this Retsugu. A second assassination gets played to get rid of the doomed Shigenya. Wow, that's actually really honor intensive for the Crane player. So Kai does have the option to box here to keep the Crane from bowing the Retsugu. Yeah, double missed box. Yeah, that's a way to put it. And instead of boxing here, he initiates a duel, which is interesting because this probably means that he is going to get bowed by the Crane box, because Crane is just going to remember it at some point, right? So both wheel a 1-bid, and that means Retsugu is up 4-0 and removes a fate from Kakita-sami. Currently, Kakita-sami can't trigger the ability. She has to actually have more skill rather than just be winning the conflict. And now he uses the stronghold to give Retsugu +2. And I think that the Crane player kind of regrets not having used the box earlier. I'm guessing the Crane player could have like a Banzai doing attack or something and is counting on breaking that way. Yeah, who needs to use your stronghold? The only ability that's always online the entire game. You just have to remember that it's there. It's because Scorpion is so bad, right? Because no one remembers boxes, right? Alright, so we see another conflict character come down from the Dragon player. Is this going to be used to poke an attack? Maybe a Water Ring to have Retsugu standing for the defense? I think that would be a pretty solid idea. Perhaps a military Water Ring to threaten a break on the Imperial Palace? Or do you go for something perhaps you can crack a bit easier? That's the question here. What's the worst thing that could be on their Imperial Palace? Right, let's have a quick look at the Crane's row. It's Upholding Authority, Manicured Gardens, Majesty Station, Shameful Display. So, since 2 Souls Beyond Reproach has already been discarded by the Crane player, I think that it's not too bad to find a Majesty Station, and he does find a Majesty Station. There's no really... There's going to be a lot of card expenditure in order to get Kakita-sami honored to use Majesty Station, so finding it right here is actually pretty good. Yeah, exactly. Station is a pretty good find here for the Dragon player. I think he's perfectly okay with this. He probably has a couple of Hurricane Punches in his hand, so he can quite easily break this unless defense comes down. Yeah, a Hurricane Punch, now he's breaking. Yeah, Majesty Station getting broken this early is very rough. I could see the Crane player attacking back with the airing and just trying to drain the honor low enough. Oh. Drain the honor low enough of the Dragon player to actually force him to bid one next turn and then perhaps not have a good enough hand to keep this going. We see a second Mark of Shame go down, but it's we also see an Ancestral Daisho quickly get dropped, so it's back to breaking again. And we did see a Steward of the Law discarded as well, so there's very doubtful he has an... Oh, he has actually 0 Fate left as well, so that was expensive for the Crane player. And now the Retsugo is standing and can most likely just easily defend this conflict. Yeah, that I'll agree with that. That was a waste of Mark of Shame. He knew he had the Daisho in hand. He knew he could just easily plonk it down and break here. And he's going to get the Daisho back again, so... You gotta defend this though as the Dragon player, right? Yeah, of course, you defend this because you're in such a good position to just get aggressive next turn. I imagine if the Crane player finds Yoshi, he could sort of like claw himself back into this game by bidding 1 and using Yoshi ability to draw a bunch of cards, but otherwise it's going to be super rough for the Crane player from now on. Yeah, I agree with you, Fox. It was a very expensive play. And he's not going to break Shameful here. He does have a bonsai, so he might win this conflict though, to grab an extra honor of him with the air ring. But any sort of pump from the Dragon player is going to negate this. Alright, so does the Dragon player has any response for this? If he doesn't respond to this, he's going to drop down to 4 honor. And we don't know the Crane player's hand, but if there's a... I mean, he has Asami in play. If he can use Asami to grab an honor next turn and perhaps have a backhanded complement or two, the Dragon player could be in trouble. I think the Dragon player has to seriously consider going for the airing, like the first attack next turn, if he drops below 4. Oh yeah, triple backhanded complement would actually be pretty sick in this situation. Alright, so he does win the ring, but doesn't break Shameful Display. And he does steal an honor from Kai. So he is down to 4 honor now. If he can just get large enough political force and defend with, or whatever with Asami, and then just drop all 3 backhanded compliments one after another, he wins this game. But that assumes he does have all 3. Oh yeah, John, I know he's not going to stop, but it's fairly easy for me to just keep timing him out. Alright, so going into next round, the Dragon player is once again up on Fate, but he is down to 4 honor. And I imagine we're probably going to see the Alchemist C play. No, it gets tossed because of course it wasn't a broken province, never mind. It's going to be really interesting to see what the Crane player has in his hand, but him tossing so many, to be honest, quite high valuable cards suggests that he saving some real power, and that could be the extra backhanded compliments to just drain the honor completely. What do you play here as the Dragon player? I think you play the Kitsuki Investigator and the Doom Shigenya. Potentially you actually play the Yokuni with just a bunch of Fate and then copyright Sugo and just feel good about it. Thanks, John. I'm sure I will be made fun of plenty in the WhatsApp later. Oh yeah. Okay, play Investigator here to scout the hand. If he does see a couple of backhanded compliments, that's yeah, he knows what he's up against. That's a good point because he's not going to be enough. There's not going to be enough actions if he attacks political, air, and then even if he's up on honor and he triggers Asami, he's going to be able to use Investigator to look at hand and discard a backhanded compliment before all three gets dropped. So you're correct. The Investigator here is a really good play. Yeah, discarding a single backhanded compliment here would just remove so much reach from the Crane player when it comes to dishonor strategy. Alright, so we do see the one bids from both now. The Dragon player is definitely scared about getting dishonored. I think this game is over in 2 rounds. I'm fairly certain this game is over in two rounds, one way or another, so that Investigator is going to stay the entire game. Oh, and we did see a Way of the Crane honor Hotaru. Now, question is, was that saved, or was that just pulled? It's going to be really interesting. Oh, wow! Are we going to see the triple backhanded compliment here? Because we could potentially see the triple backhanded compliment here, basically turning off completely the political attack for the Dragon player. He can't attack politically. Like it isn't possible to do, because if he attacks politically, he just defends with Asami and Hotaru and drains the last honor. Yes, that does mean Hotaru can just remove Investigator straight up, but I think the Dragon player might consider going Void here first if he has a chance to look at the hand of the Crane player. I think he might just go Military Void first conflict and then try and grab a fire or a air for a second conflict, whatever's still up. Yes, John. The player on the top, the Dragon player, is winning the game. If you're actually serious about wanting to learn more, I can tell you about it afterwards. Not going air means the Dragon players loses. That's potentially true. I mean, let's see what he does, but yeah, I mean, air is scary here with Hotaru, so they can double trigger the airing. But he walks into, so he is going to be able to steal one honor with Asami if he decides to defend with both. I don't think the Dragon player win this conflict if he defends with both. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, correct. If he leaves air, Asami plus Hotaru does steal the last 3 honor. You're right. So he walks into Manicured Gardens, which is fine. I don't even know if he wants to sacrifice Pathfinder's Blade here to stop him from getting a Fate, considering there's only 2 cards in his hand. I think you're fine with him getting that Fate. Let's see if there's any defense from the Crane player. I think you really want to trigger Asami here, but I don't know if it's possible. If you have a for shame, I guess it's possible to defend this. Alright, so he doesn't defend, and if the Dragon player has any sense, he should be using this airing to grab 2 honor and basically save him. Well, P-Mittens, currently the dragon player is winning, but he is also dangerously close to getting dishonored out. Yeah. I think Gomes has basically given up a little bit. So he gets to look at the hand and sees Forged Edict and Noble Sacrifice. So he knows there's no more Dishonor Reach, and once he wins this airing, he knows he's just safe. Yeah, Gomes is now gone from potentially having a chance to just dead. He is dead. There's no way he can come back from this. It is a very rough spot for the Crane player. I imagine the Dragon player has something to break this Manicured Garden, and then he will be on the Stronghold, and that will probably be it. Like, he can drop the he can play the Ancestral Daisho again and use the Stronghold to just break this Manicured Gardens, and then he has free reign on the Stronghold. Yeah, Dragon Province row wins again. Oh yeah, another Pathfinder's Blade works as well, I guess. And now you're gonna see the Stronghold from Dragon being used, and he's breaking Manicured Gardens. And goes back up to 5 honor, completely safe. And the Crane player has to hold back Hotaru for defending, I think. And that will probably be it. I'm guessing there's some merit to attacking with Hotaru and double triggering Void here to sort of like give you a chance next turn. But if the Dragon player has like a Hurricane Punch and a Void Fist, and we know he has a Daisho, that's just gonna be rough walking in on the Stronghold, which is actually rally, so it doesn't matter too much. How much is that? That's 6, and he goes in with exactly 5 strength. I guess he could survive this turn. Earth. The Crane player goes Political Earth and hits Sacred Sanctuary, which of course I think he knew was there. Oh, okay. Hang on. I'll explain that later to you as well, John. So, Hotaru walks in on Sacred Sanctuary, Reisugu defends. I imagine Sacred Sanctuary is going to be broken here, and I don't think he cares much about it. Like, a double Earth is rough, I guess. I mean, he could probably... There's a line where he could Void Fist this Hotaru out of here, I guess, if he really wants to. But I think he's fairly okay with letting this break, and then just going for the Stronghold and probably just breaking early next turn. Right, so when Kai says he's massing, I'm assuming he's basically making sure he has the right amount of strength and cards to Void Fist his Hotaru out. I'm thinking that's what he's doing. Alright, Mitten, so, okay, so you can't listen to the audio. I can't type it to you right now, I guess. What's he gonna cancel with? Hotaru isn't a courtier. Like, Asami is the only courtier in play, and she's dishonored. He can't edict. Yeah, that's one of the major flaws with the Crane champion. She's not actually a courtier, which is like what all the Crane players think. Why all the Crane players think it's stupid that she's not a courtier. Oh yeah. You keep forgetting it, but like she's not. Alright, so he does defend with Raitsugu. Raitsugu cannot actually be bowed by the stronghold now because Sacred Sanctuary prevents that. And he does play court games. That's one card. Let's see, he could easily play Daisho, that's two cards, Duel, or just punch her with a Void Fist and send her home. John, I am about to time you out as well. Yes, Shouju is a courtier. And, oh wow, so we can. Oh wow! That is going. Yep, yeah, okay, so Kazue comes down, steals a fate, and now Retsugi is going to duel her off. Actually, he has to win that duel. He's currently tied in military strength, which means he might have to give up some honor to win the duel. Yeah. Kazue comes down, and oh, we don't even see the duel. We see the Void Fist, as about as effective. Oh, come on, John. Now you're gone too. Sorry. Yeah, Void Fist takes down Hotaru, and now it's just walk in on the stronghold for the dragon player. And he's going to have a double fated Reitsugu with a Kazue attached, and a Kitsuki Investigator with a Pathfinder's Blade for next turn. And the Crane player is going to have a Dishonored Azami, and not much else. Yes, Taidoji Eric has the right idea. There are a couple of my friends who has been super busy with World of Warcraft over the last like months and has no idea up until now that I stream. So they found out and now they're fucking with me. Apologies to the rest of the chat for ruining your experience. Oh yeah. Dan has a valid point. You just don't have any friends. That's an interesting idea. Alright, so basically Gomes has more or less given up on this game. He just wants it to be over quickly. He does defend though. I'm guessing he stole a fate with... No, Miyazami? No, he didn't. It doesn't matter. It's going into this round. I think Yukoni is going to stay, and then Yukoni is going to get played, and then he's just going to walk all over the Crane player. Alright, let's see if there's a miracle occurring for the Crane player. Oh wow. Yep. Alright, so Kai does discard his second Kizuki Investigator. I'm guessing there's no point having another one if there's only one card in the Crane player's hand. We could of course see a high bid from the Crane player here, just because he realizes he's dead regardless, pretty much. Oh yeah, this is they're basically just going through the motions at this point. The Dragon player is just going to win. And just to add insult to injury, here comes Yoshi after he lost Imperial Favor. Wow, that could have given him a chance last turn, but sadly it wasn't to be. Oh, I guess the Dragon player just plays Mitsu now, I guess, because that's better than Yokuni, I think, in this situation. Just keep reusing the Void Fist and Hurricane Punches from the discard. Oh yeah, easy big brain plays. Just play the most overpowered character you can and win. Easy. So I'm guessing we're gonna see Mitsu, then just convert Yoshi, and then just break. Yeah, and Gomes also says that Yoshi came one turn too late. It's rough sometimes. Oh, only one fate on Mitsu. He is very confident he's going to win this game. Oh yeah, Handsome Dan has the right idea here. Horrible decision having to choose between Yokuni or Mitsu when both wins you the game. It's such a hard choice, really. Oh, Kai is actually pretty bold here. He draws 3 cards. So he does know that he has a Forged Edict in hand, so he can cancel one event. And now I mean, let's be completely honest here. There is a very tiny chance that he pulled with that one bid and that Imperial Storehouse, that he actually pulled the last 2 backhanded compliments. Oh yeah, that's definitely happened, Mittens. That is going to happen at some point. No, please no. No, Dan, you're taking it too far. Oh, and we see a Tattooed Wanderer on Retsugu. So we're gonna have a double convert from the Dragon player. He is basically just going to break completely. I might just do like no. So again, apologize for the chat, everyone. I'll make sure to deal with them properly at some point. Alright, so do we even see an attack here from the Crane player? I'm guessing he wants to go for the firing here to make sure this Mitsu isn't too intimidating. Crown super. No. I'm sorry, by the way, if you're wanting more commentary here, because this is pretty much like a done game at this point. They are more or less going through the motions. There is an interesting situation here though, where he could potentially trigger Asami, trigger airing, and have a backhanded complement in hand, but this investigator is going to get rid of it first action, I guess. Because you definitely do it first action here before you shameful, so you can see you see a Banzai, a For Shame, and a Forged Edict. I think you get rid of the For Shame here. Can trigger Asami Shameful Display. Let's say 3. I mean, I guess you can now because he just policy debate, not policy debated, but he used the investigator's ability. So now he does have an action to. Oh wow, I didn't realize he defended with Raitsuga as well. Is he actually going to have enough to break here with Mitsu only? Okay, so he's not going to have the chance to trigger Asami now because she's going to get dueled off by Raitsugu. Both really one bid and she dies. Yeah, there's a lot going on. So basically, if he used Shameful Display first, Asami wouldn't have been able to trigger. But then we had a situation where Asami could actually have been triggered. Oh, okay, Asami actually was triggered. I missed that. Yes, he did trigger it. Oh, wow. I'm a bit out of whack at this point. I missed that. I'm sorry, chat. I don't know what's going on. Honestly, don't know what's going on. Does he have enough to break here with Mitsu only? I mean, he has seen his hand, so he has a Forged Edict and a Banzai. So he has no conflict character he can defend with, and he can cancel one Hurricane Punch, but a second Hurricane Punch is enough to break. Yeah. So, the Dragon player is going to win this conflict and then walk in with Mitsu, and I'm guessing Mitsu, that's going to be enough to... I mean, hopefully he has enough to break there, but otherwise he could, I guess, do a Watering, ready up the Investigator, and go in with the Honored Investigator with Stronghold and break that way. There's no conflict character from the Crane player, so there's nothing else he can do. This is pretty over. I think the players just have to realize that line of play. Oh, he actually conceded? Yeah, alright. I'm missing everything today. Too busy watching chat to make sure nothing untoward gets posted by some people. Not really, no, because there is a Forged Edict, or actually, Forged Edict cannot be played when Yoshi is dishonored, so yeah, we do have a Hurricane Punch in the discard pile, so it is correct, the Dragon player has already won. He could also go for a ring and pick up a... We know he has a Daisho in hand still from like turn 1 that has been played several times, so we know that is a thing, he just needs one Fate to play that, so it is over. Alright, so that is going to be it. I'm going to turn off the stream. Thank you so much everyone that watched, and thank you so much everyone that followed. I'm going to time out John again, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a good evening.